Hello, everybody. This is James in Prague, and welcome to SoulCARE, January 15th, Monday, January 15th. And I am here in San Diego, and I'm online with you. It's SoulCARE, and nice to be on again with you. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. I was off last Monday because I'll share with you what happened. Um, but we'll wait to see some people coming on, so I'll see here. Da-da-da. Oh my gosh, a lot of people already. Hello, everyone. Josie, Stella, Lisa, Jennifer. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Yes, it's very interesting for me personally. I can tell you this. Even though I'm not online, it didn't go on Soul Care last week. There's always work going on behind the scenes. There's always something happening, something being planned for this year. I'm talk a little bit about what's going on today. But in life, as we all have gone through this, it's been an interesting journey with the COVID thing. Very interesting. It's getting more and more interesting, isn't it, as these mutations continue. So, and the whole inauguration happened, and that was pretty amazing. I thought. I don't know if you watched that, but I watched it. It was just, I was blown away by the poet laureate, just blown away. Talk about an old soul, wise, wise old soul, really incredible. What a teacher, what a light, yeah. And we got to listen to that and feel those words like she did. And then the lady that I watched the ceremony with, a celebration and memorial for the people that died of COVID, and the Lincoln Memorial. And there was Amanda, I believe, Yolanda, her name was, a singer, the gospel singer who sang Hallelujah. I was on the floor. I was crying. It was just, it touches your soul. I thought that whole ceremony from day one was really beautiful and very gentle and very kind. That I think people got to give them a chance and see what they do, because I think they're definitely in the right headspace and mindset and heart space. So it's good. I'm actually going to write Kamala Harris a letter today and tell her about my experiences getting through and changing paradigms and changing people's minds and opening them up to new ways of seeing things. And saying that, the reason I wasn't on last week was my dog Boo Boo had passed. Some of you know that. And then my dog Maisie, my daughter, who's lying right here now, went through a severe depression, and she ended up. She's very sensitive, she's an empath, and she ended up going. I had to bring her to the hospital because she had pancreatitis, which is brought on by stress and bad diet, because some owner throws table scraps at her every once in a while. So she just loves food. I can't help it. Anyway, but she's never been sick a day in her life, and she's always it was amazing. But she wouldn't eat, and she was throwing up, and she was really, something was going on there. So I brought her into the hospital, and make a long story short, they said she had pancreatitis, and she was on IVs and pain medication and all this stuff, and threw me for a loop. I picked her up 2 days later from the hospital, and they brought her out. It took 2 hours to get her out. I don't know why, because no one else was in there. But they brought her out and didn't even look like her. She lost so much weight, and she couldn't even know who I was. I think she was heavily sedated. So anyway, what happened was very interesting. I was crying for that, and I brought her into my car, and she was kind of in and out of it. Uh, and I drove home with one hand on the steering wheel and one hand on her, and I just wanted to give her a spontaneous healing. And I've done healing work before where I've actually gone into, and I don't know when I'm going to do that, but a lot of group workshops I do when I feel I should, or I'm told you got to put yourself, we're going to work through you now. Um, I go to a semi-trance state, excuse me, semi-trance state. But of course, when I was driving, I was very aware of driving, but I just let spirit take over. And it was something that happened really interestingly, very interesting. And many times Edgar Casey comes through too as a guide in healing uh, periods. But as I'm driving, and I'm able to be aware that I'm going into a higher body, and I went right to the pancreas. It was very strange. And I saw all this stuff, which was scar tissue and brown and emotional stuff and upset, and all this stuff was around the pancreas, and it was inflamed, but it was crusty. So I say we because I didn't do it. I was just the instrument. Took away all that crusty stuff and look at the particles and push it to the digestive system. Wow. And that was it. And then she just lay there, was asleep. We got home an hour and a half, 2 hours later, and she had to go out and poop. And Daddy, I checked out her poop, and the particles that I saw in the one is clairvoyantly when I saw that the cleaning her out, clearing her, they were in her poop. Wild, right? I mean, that's a wild, wild story. So that was the beginning of the week. And yeah, so she's fine now. She just needed a little bit of time, and I'm bringing her to the vet because I think she needs a dietary enzyme. But she's back to normal, thank God. And I know that when she was down on Saturday, that she was low and she was going to go to the other side. I knew it. And I just knew it. And I just said to her, we connect telepathically as animals do. And I said, please don't go right now. Can you stay just like 3 or 4 more months because I'd really love to have you. I'm not prepared. And she's like, yes, I will. And she has not left my side ever since, ever since. So even more so. So that's my story there. So it's healing from that whole situation, and then my friend Larry King died. So I'm sure a lot of you probably might have read my letter to Larry, my memory of Larry, my F, that was yesterday afternoon, and when I wrote that memory of Larry when I first was on that show, uh, I just write what is happening and just let things flow and I didn't really think. There came a point in that letter I wrote to Larry where it said, Larry and myself and Wendy Walker, who produced it, really it's Wendy Walker who did it. She's a executive producer, and myself. And that show changed millions and millions of people's minds and hearts all over the world. And that was a big paradigm shift because it was the first time a medium was on television, international television. And I guess the impact of that hit me then. It's been so many years ago. It was in '97, so I kind of lost that. But it really came to me there, and wow, it was just amazing. So that was great. That was great. So I'm here today, and in celebration of Larry King. Thank you, Larry. But read if you it's my Facebook page. You've probably seen it. It's great. So anyway, here we are. So that's where I've been. I'm here today. I actually use this all the time. I have one for every show I've been on, by the way. Isn't that funny? So thank you very much again, everybody, for being here, and we're going to be excited and happy New Year to all of you again. From because the year is changing and new things happening. I am in the beginning of a new book, which is going to be a good book. I think it's a good book. It's in my head already. It's a different book. It's a fiction book, but it's about humanness and spiritualness, I guess you call it, the physicality, and the journeys that people go on in this lifetime when they're here on the earth, certain journeys. So it'll be good book, and that's it. And the other thing I want to let you guys know is there in my school, which you guys know about, the JP School of Mystical Arts. I'm not good at advertising my own school, but I have to. It has also been very, very uh, supportive for people who are looking for going on their spiritual journey, looking for somewhere to study more about meditation or healing or intuitive work or mediumship or life transformation. And one of the most successful courses we have, there are several that stand, 3 or 4 stand out. And for this year in 2021, I wanted to revisit some of those courses that people really loved and people got a lot out of it. And we had a lot of responses from it. So I decided the first course I'm going to put out again is the Spiritual Life Coach course, which is available now. Okay. And for those who did not take the course, and you don't have to, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it because it is a change. It's life changer. It changes perspective with your life, yourself, people in your life, what your values are, which actually is a perfect time right now with COVID to reassess, as I've said, your values, who you are in this world, what you're meant to do, what is the meaning for you in this world. Don't just live this life, but really live this life. I always say to people, what you want to do is you want to make sure that when you leave this earth, if you look back at your time here, the world should be different when you leave the earth because of you. In some way, in some little way, perhaps. Whatever that is, whether it's being nice to people, giving to people over an organization, doing something unconditionally without expectation. That's doing some soul work. You don't have to be well known. You don't have to do, just do it from your heart work, and make the world a better place. Put more light on this earth. When you leave it, you look back and say, "Oh, I did well," as Larry King is doing now. He's saying, "Oh, I did well." So a lot of people feel like life is and a lot of people, I do this all the time. So a lot of people come back, the same patterns repeat, and I feel really depressed. I feel tired. I'm sad. Why doesn't this happen? Why doesn't that person treat me this way? How come life is like this? I've been there. We've all been there, and it seems like a hamster wheel going round and around and around. And there's got to be a break. There's got to be a break. And if we want a break, we can't let the world do it for us. We got to do it for ourselves. We have to initiate ourselves to whatever age you're in to change, to look at yourself and maybe change things around. My friend, a good friend of mine, my best friends, Peter Redgrove, who actually inspired me to write Talking to Heaven, pushed me to write Talking to Heaven. And he's 80, he's going to be 79 to be 80 this year, a few weeks. And he said to me about 4 to 6 months ago, he said, James, I want to do something else with my life. I said, what? He goes, well, I've always been good with people. I've always been good with people about getting jobs. And he used to be a recruiter for law firms. And he was excellent and a beautiful voice, great presence from England, great presence. And he said, I want to help people finding themselves. And I said, you really should be a coach. You really should be a life coach. And he's starting that off at 79 years of age. He's going to use all of his wisdom from his time, and he's starting a new life coach course, different this, but he's going to help people to get jobs, recruitment. So, and that's at 79. So you're never too late to start again. You really aren't, because we're eternal, for goodness sakes. So what I talk about a lot in the course is clarity for the choices that you make, and how really to use love versus fear. I go to a whole bunch of that, love versus fear. And there were 70 videos, by the way, 70 different videos. And it's always your course eternally. I also teach you, when you're working with people, it's a different way than any other life coach, because I kind of get you into sitting in the power, being in the power. So when you meet people, you kind of connect instantly, psychically, intuitively, to see their colors, to see their ambitions, to see what they're about. So it's very, very different. It's also about cleansing, about protection of yourself and them. And just check it out if you'd like to. So Renee's going to put the link on the, well, there it is right there. Right. Just check it out. If it works for you, it works for you. And tomorrow night is the first call I'm having. It's a Zoom call for all the participants, and that's always fun. And we find out who each other are, and I work with you as far as what your needs are, where your background is, and so forth. So the first phone call for the class is tomorrow night. So if it's interesting to you, please, I would really love for you to check it out, because it's the only time this year I'm doing this. I only put it out last time, one time 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and the next time I don't know when it was going to be, but I knew that 2021 this was very important for people, because a lot of people are changing their lives, they're changing their careers, they're looking at their selves differently. They want to start initiating changes in their life. They want to come really for self-empowerment and not be in fear. That's really what this is about, is empowerment. So that's what it's about. So I welcome you and invite you all to enjoy the course if you'd like. So I'm going to answer some questions now, because a lot of people come in. Let's see. Hello, everybody. I am down today. Nancy Sperling, clarity is not the same as confidence. We need clarity first. That's right. First, to understand something, get a clear picture of something, see something, the backgrounds, where it's coming from, what's the intention behind it. That's right. Very, very true. So please, yes, if you're stressed out, you're not grounding yourself. That's right. Okay, now comments are pouring in here. Let's see. If you have any questions, just let me know. What does it mean? Christine says, what does it mean? You have spirits in your eyes. Darling, I don't know what that means. I've never heard that before, but many times we'll see spirit lights on the sides of us, peripheral. That I used to see that all the time as a child. That's many times the first time you'll have a connection that way. You see that, but I've never heard in the eye. So I check that out again. Yeah. Okay. Here's Cynthia Lee. Shelton, is there ever a bad accident, or is it part of your life story? I don't believe in accidents. And from my understanding, it's all based on my understanding of my life experiences and what I've been told by the spirit people who work with me, that there are no accidents. There's always divine action. Accidents on this level, on the human level, an accident happens quickly and that's it. But I think on the other side, behind the scenes, they've been working on that for a while. Or things happen a certain way. Could be you have to learn. Obviously, you have to learn from something from the other person does. So it's a whole little play, a scenario going on for you in your life. An accident, whether it's a car accident when you lose somebody, or it's an accident where something happens. The one thing too about accident, I will say this: the caveat is, free will can be involved too. So if I choose to, I don't know, walk down a bad street in the neighborhood where there's gunfighting and drugs on, I'm putting myself at risk. And my choice is I can not do that, or I do that. It's a stupid example, but you get it. So if I choose to go, then something's going to happen. It might happen. That could be free will. So it's interesting to know the difference between free will and your destiny points. The best way I would say to do that is to really be in tune with your intuition. What is your soul telling you? Because your soul will guide you the right way. The higher conscious, the higher self will guide you through your intuition. Okay. Okay. Very stressed. Donna, you need to ground yourself. You know that. So I don't want to hear you're stressed. Hello. Okay. Nig, I enrolled in your spiritual life coach course, but could not find info. It's probably in your student portfolio. There's a go on your student page. And also, then if you still don't have a sweetheart, go back to the support, and we'll get you that. We'll get you the link for tomorrow. Okay. Will my roommate come back? I don't know what that means. That can be many things. I know Jennifer. Jennifer is struggling with grief. It's a tough one. It's a tough human reaction, emotion. I know it. I've been going through it. I know. We all actually, this is a year of letting go. Remember, we've talked about this of letting things go, and newness is coming in, a change is coming in. And very early on, I said this is a spiritual wave, and you have to really assess your spiritual self, get really into it, and know who you are, and so forth. And now, is this, I said when COVID first started last year, I said it's a time for us to go into our own selves and see what's important to us. And if we don't, if we don't, we're going to get step back, and we're going to be caught up in the day to day stuff. But they see the bigger picture, be aware that something happens. The grief thing, yeah, we're going to be losing a lot of people. We're not even seeing the worst yet. I think, as Biden said, we're not. I believe that. I think there's another whole wave of it, and we've got to be protective. You can't put yourself at risk. You can't do that. You can't go to large openings with people. It's just not worth it. Uh, this is Dory Robbie. I spoke with you over the phone years ago when I was doing a show in Burbank. To this side. The other side, Dory. I remember Dory Robbie. I remember Dory. But I appreciate you trying to get a message from my 4-year-old. Okay, Dory, you might want to. It's very nice. I might have Night of Spirit messages. That's the best way. We're putting the date together right now, but it'll be probably the end of the month or beginning of February. So that's when I do messages. Okay. But I have people on my website that do individual, personal. Kelly White is one of them. Some wonderful people. Janelle Campbell's on there. Marilyn Wall's on there. Some great mediums. Marsha, same for you. Okay, so that's the. I don't do private readings, but the people on the website do. I'm very involved in my school now. That's really what I'm doing. Is Marianne Zoomer, is the vaccine a way to depopulate mind control? I think you've been reading too much of these. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Listen, I think there's a lot we don't know. I think there's a lot with governments. I think a lot. I do believe that, but I don't think this is one way. I do think, and this is my own thoughts, not psychic or anything, that this was definitely released in some kind of from a lab. No doubt about it. I think, I really do. Biochemical. I think. That's what I think. I'm not saying psychic. I didn't tune into it on a psychic level, except from the spirit realm. They've come back from COVID. They've said something, and it's really interesting. Some things are curtained, you can't see, you're not allowed to see it for some reason, or it's gray. Sometimes the information is very available. In this case, it wasn't always available. It wasn't very available. I asked Kelly White about her readings with COVID people, and she said, "Yeah, they were there standing up, and it was." She said to me exactly what I was saying to you. That it's a time they chose so that the loved ones behind can learn about their own selves, which is what we're talking about. It's also I found, but they're not. There's a whole group of beings who welcome them over. Beverly Alonzo, my grandbaby passed over. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. You know how much I love you, of course. Listen, everybody, please change your minds. Please change your mind. There you go, Beverly. I feel so bad. Does she know how much I love her? Okay, Beverly and everybody here, they know how much I love you. Yes, the first thing they know is that connection. They hear you, and they live in a mental world. We live in a physical world. So in that mental world, they receive all of our thoughts. Every thought we have about them, they receive it 10 times, 20 times stronger. Our prayers, it reaches them. So you could talk to them through your thoughts, and they'll hear you. The problem for most humans is they get so busy, caught up in the phonetic stuff of life, that they can't stay still for 5 minutes and listen with their mind to the responses. And they want me, a medium, to do that for them. Now, I'm teaching people to do it for themselves. Yes, there'll be some people that are more sensitive than others and have more of a mediumistic skill than other people, but we all can hear basics. We're all souls, so there's no reason why you can't hear the love thoughts from the loved one. There's no reason why, but you have to put yourself in that space, that stillness, and you got to let yourself do that and progress that way. It doesn't happen overnight. I often say give yourself 15 minutes every day and sit in a dark closet and just sit quietly, passively, and just pay attention to your breath. And as you do that, you'll slowly open up. You don't have to think about anything. We're so used to this vibration as human beings. Think. This is no thinking. It's feeling. It's going to the heart space. And what you do is you'll be aware that because you're not thinking, and you want to think, I mean, there's only 14,000 thoughts a day, you'll be forced to just calm down and go with your breath. And when you surrender, it's in the surrendering that you give the space for that spirit to come in and for you to hear. Imagine all the crud, like Maisie's scars, that they have to go through all that mind junk, like this barrier mind junk that you filled in your mind, worry and fear and this and that, and they have to try to get through that to say hello. Not easy. So give them some help. Calm down and still yourself. That's why love never dies. You'll feel that their love is what brings them into your thoughts. Okay. Linnea Library. Hi, James. Do you see me moving anytime soon? Like, if you want to, you can. I don't see any. I'm not doing psychic readings, but you could answer that. What do you feel? So don't get caught up in your head with the judgments. And, what do you first feel? The first feeling you get, let your intuition go. I'm not going to do it for you. I want you to use your intuition and let that guide you. Okay. I'm here to assist you to help you to help yourself. Okay. This is Tammy Harlan. I had something. Thank you very much, Renee. I had something happen years ago. You were on a talk show and you said our eternal world, I don't know, our eternal would come on one side. Oh, the mother side on one side, the father on the side. Yes. So when the father side, when the mother side comes through, it's on one side, father side on the other side. That is how I began my mediumship. Changed over the years, though. I said, I wonder if that's true. And at the exact point on my left side, my music box was touch sound, one note. Oh, good. Very good, Tammy. And if you listen to it, the more you give it space and let it happen and stop trying to control these things, it'll happen. The other thing, which is the mind thing, we try to control it. Everyone wants to control things. We have no control. Everybody, there's no control. Sorry for the control freaks, but there is no control. You cannot control somebody's way of thinking. You can control them to do to be this way. People do what they want to do, and people have their own lives. The only thing you can control, and so just that point, you look at how much Mishigas and Yiddish is like all the stuff that we get caught up in trying to control people in our worlds and our situations and our jobs. We control. You don't need that much control. It's confusing. It'll freak you out. It'll not be good. So you have no control over people and situations. But what you do have control over is how you receive it. How do you look at that? So some bad example here, but someone says something to you which you don't like. You have control. You would say something really negative back where you can stop, a few deep breaths, and look at them and say, that was not very nice. I do not like the way you said that. That will be a lot more effective. And you won't have that negative energy that you have. So let go. Let go. It's very important. Hi, James. This is Elaine Ramirez. Hi, James. You look great. Thank you. I combed my hair. Um, Andromeda about the earthquake. Oh, my goodness. I keep getting messages from Andromeda. I don't know who Andromeda is, so forgive me. About the earth decline of bees, bats, and mines. How has the climate change impacted spiritual growth? Well, one thing, Elaine, is like just using this message here, this question, it bringing attention and awareness to that plight, which is happening too. And I think if you can bring it more out to the public and people like you, um, people might listen. I think there's big changes coming this year with Earth changes as far as people doing things about it, groups starting. I mean, last year when the Amazon forest was going to Brazilian people, the government of Brazil, it was okay to burn down the forest, and it was just you want to cry from the inside out because it's like, don't they realize that the system that we're living in a system? We don't own the earth. It's like, wow. So people like you should get out there more and explain that it's true. We also have right now in California, it's really nasty. It's a beetle, and because of this, the forest devastation down there, these beetles had no place to go because they usually go in wood and go into wood for their homes or into wood. They had to go up the coastline to Mexico, Central America, and they go through all these different palm trees, and they'll go through the palm tree, and they'll eat from the inside out. They gore themselves, and they destroy the palm from the inside out. It doesn't matter what palm it is either, by the way. So they were in Central America. Now they're in Mexico, and they're in Tijuana, which is 30 miles south of me. And my gardener friend, Fran, said to me just the other day, and she sent pictures yesterday of this beetle. And she said, you really should have these trees sprayed, natural stuff, the palm trees, whatever, because this beetle's going to be here. It's like 30 miles away, and it's going to be devastating. There'll be no more palm trees. And she sent me pictures of this insect yesterday. It was disgusting. I said, I can't, but it's real. It's happening. There's a lot of stuff which we got to pay attention to. Maybe that could be, your spiritual work can be bringing that awareness to people. That's really important. Even the food that we eat. People say, oh, it's organic, such. But what about the soil that it's in? Has that changed? I mean, we got to pay attention to all these things. I guess it's a way of changing the mindset, and we got to change the mindset. So when I first started off this call, I said, when you leave this earth, look back and make the world a better place. Maybe you can start there. Maybe someone could go and make your what you want to do is work with climate control or the insects, the bees, the butterflies. We have to give blood. We have to share this world with every living thing. It's terrible stomping on this earth, Mother Earth. But like sweetheart, you please do that, and everybody else who feels the need to should bring it up to conversation all the time. Awareness, very good, yes, Janelle. It's awareness. That's right. Awareness 101, sweetheart. Open up the mind to the awareness of it. Victoria Baldwin Tom says, do you have different spirit guides for mediumship or psychic reverse psychic readings? That's a great question, sweetheart. Yes, I do. We all do. Yes. So let's talk to our guides. There we go, Victoria. Different spirit guides for mediumship reverse psychic readings. I'd say yes and no in that. Yes and no. I'm not going to differentiate, but I would believe that there are specialists. I think there are specialists. Our guides are specialists in a field. So for mediumship, myself personally, I have a chemist, I have a doctor, I've had a nun, I've had different people, and they change. But the psychic stuff, yes, I've had somebody who specialized in that part of myself. So what can we say? That part of my the chakra, maybe the fourth chakra, the third chakra, and the fourth chakra. They specialize in telepathic. But it's kind of it's the same, but it's different. But yes, I do believe you can for sure. I know I do. I do because I also not only feel a difference in the energy when I'm doing mediumship or psychic, I'll feel around me, the circle around me, the beings that are around me have changed. I can't tell you who they are, but I know the energy of the spirits around me have changed. Good question. That's a great question. Actually, I haven't heard that before. Okay. Let's see what we have here. This is Morgan Georgia Flanagan. My James, I'm looking after. Thank you. I'm looking after. I'm looking after my husband who has terminal cancer. I'm very sorry, sweetheart. Very sorry about that. And my elderly mother. Wow, it's a lot. I feel like I'm sinking. You're not sinking. You know, you would not have taken on this chore if you weren't ready for it. And to make you stronger and make you understand certain things about yourself and them and in the world. I remember I once had a client come through. Her brother came through, and I said he's in multiple sclerosis, and she goes yes. I said and palsy, and yes. He couldn't. He was walking in a wheelchair. She goes yes. And the brother came through and he said, I chose that condition to teach other people around me about unconditional love. So I really hit home. And I do believe that there are times like when in this situation with your mother and your husband, that you have to go in and reach those points that you never thought was possible and find the compassion, find the sensitivity, the patience, the kindness that maybe you've never ever done before, that level of kindness, compassion with your mother, with your husband, because you didn't have to before. Maybe you're stretched so far that you have to find that within and teach them as well patience, love, and love and calmness, and you can help them about the other side too. So speaking about the other side in nice ways, and just you'll figure things out. I helped Debbie Ford pass over once, and she came to me. She said, "I need help," and I said, "You're a feather. Slowly you're a feather. Feel light, feel buoyancy. And breathe in and breathe out, and just or an air balloon, hot air balloon will help. Spirit will guide you, darling. It's a hard lesson, but you'll pass it." Okay. Recovery, something recovery. I saw that recovery. Okay. Thank you, Chad. Thank you very much for recovery with Krista. The visions I have are getting stronger. Whoa, it's very windy where I am right now, so my computer went whoa. The visions I have are getting stronger. I think since I've been meditating for sure. When I was a kid, I rocked it. So what was in store for me? It doesn't seem wires. It just is. Exactly. That's exactly what you're right. 100%. It's not something you have to do. It's just you got to be. Have a look at it that way. Just be. As children, we're very open, but the older we get, we have this stuff on top of us. It's junk, these expectations, these conditions, this control, and we block that sense. So they're very good. Meditation helps because again, you're getting that stillness of your being. Whatever brings that stillness of your being is where you want to go. Yeah, I do it with yoga as well. I do it with yoga. I do it with gardening. I do it with reading a book. I do it with going looking at the beach. I do it petting my dog. For all of you too, I think a lot of you know about my Starseed show here on Facebook and also on YouTube. The last one we just finished, which is coming out I think next week, it's my favorite one of all of them. I obviously reveal myself as a comic. It's pretty funny. I'm very goofy, and you have to do that. Life is too serious. So it's me being goofy, but I'm talking about grounding. And the editor who works with me, he puts some funny stuff. And Maisie is with me, and I'm talking about grounding her. We're petting you. Ground yourself, petting. And then I get up and leave. And he put his little comical dialogue box there. And Maisie's saying, "Is the grounding over yet? I don't think I'm grounded yet." So that's a good one coming up, Starseed. So please watch if you have it. And join the channel, please, if you would, because that helps me to know what you want. New comments. Okay. Let's see. Cleoto, I heard you talking about heaven and reincarnation. Does that mean there is no hell because we reincarnate and learn lessons on earth and die, go back to heaven and do it all over again? And earth, hell. CC, hell is the earth, right? And hell can be in the spirit world what you think you're in this earth, right? What you think about people, what you think about yourself, the world around you, the things that you say, negative, positive, whatever, how you live your life. When you pass the other side of life, you will see all those things and you'll be very happy or be very sad. And everybody here should be just fine. But there are some people that have no sense of responsibility of their thoughts, responsibility of their words, responsibility of their actions. And when they get to the side, they're going to see things that they did which influence other people and hurt other people that they were responsible for. And that's their hell. They're going to realize, oh, I did this, I should have done that. And in the spirit world, it's a mental world. So as I said earlier, so all our thoughts are 20-fold. So I wish I didn't do that. Imagine, you hurt one person some way and you feel bad on this earth. You can say, I'm really sorry, I didn't mean that. Imagine when you pass over to the side and you've hurt hundreds of people and you never apologize. You got to revisit that. I'm saying you got to revisit that. And that can be hellish. It can be tough if you did things that hurt people over and over again. I'm finding something, I'm around people right now, which is very, very, very stressful in some respects, but there are people I find around that are very limited in their mind and that they stand some certain level. And it's kind of a hellish level because they don't look out of their mind to a higher perspective. They're all staying at this level. And that's hard to be around, especially when you're sensitive or empath or clairvoyant, or when you become aware. It's a double-edged sword sometimes because you can see the best in humanity and the worst in humanity. And I was just having this conversation yesterday and last night with some friends. It's hard when you open up, you see that people have some people are just they're sleepwalking, the walking dead, we call them. They have no idea of what's going on. They have no idea about how they could have helped that person, how they could have opened themselves up and be much more aware of other person's feelings, of what's going on in the world, of how this is going to impact that person, how it's going to impact, because they're all about themselves. And they become very, what we call selfish. Selfish is going within. And I think fear is selfish because fear is all about themselves being in fear and it's going in. And love is about giving out. So love is out, of seeing things on a larger level, a larger scale, a perspective, where fear closes that down. So people can be very selfish, very fear-based people, selfish, and they're limited in the mind, see. And our job is to be limitless in the mind, to open up to new perspectives, new horizons. I mean, how many levels are there around us? I mean, how many worlds and universes are there? Incredible. It's incredible. But I think we should have that sense of awe all the time. Say, wow, that's amazing. And when we meet people and say, wow, you're amazing. I did this yesterday. I was at a garden store, as usual. I went on a Sunday afternoon to a little nursery here, private, small nursery. And I go there for certain specimens, certain California native specimens. And I have an addiction to plants. That's my addiction. So I'm walking around and looking at these beautiful babies on the this tables. And I take a couple of these little trees that need a home. They all scream, bring me home, bring me home. I go, I can't take all of you. Anyway, so this man helped me out. And he was probably 30s, 40, maybe 40. And I've seen there before. He works there. And he helped me with the wagon and the cash register. And I just looked at him and said, you know what? You have great energy. You are pure and you are clean. And the cash register, Renee, her name was also Renee. He said, isn't he that great? Is he great? I said, you are great. I said, you know what's so great about you is you're open. You see people and you're just open to everything. You don't judge. You're just an open person and you're very clean. You're very pure. There's no dirt around you. And he said, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. And he goes, people told me something like this. Yeah, you're pretty clear. Please say who you are. I think it's great. And I think if we can acknowledge that when we sit with somebody, and that's what it's all about, opening each other up and clearing stuff out and see what's important in life, what's not important, what our values are. And that's, again, the COVID thing, going back to that. We have to look at that. We have to assess ourselves and the world in which we live, how we react or act. What do we put in the world? What do we put in the bank account, the savings? What love do we put in there? We have to have love. So yes, to heaven or hell, you can find heaven with all the good things you do. And you should be very proud of the heaven you've created here on earth and that world on the other side. I was walking around my garden and with Maisie walking her. And very interesting. All of a sudden, I was shown this vision of this, looked like a house. It was on this, I don't know, it was a mountain or a hill. It was a glass house. It was beautiful. It reminded me of a church, St. Mary's Church in Sedona, Arizona. And for those who have not been there, it's the first thing you see in Sedona on this red rock. It's up this rock, this mountain, and you get to it, and it curves it. And it's a glass. It's really a glass church, cathedral. Beautiful view. So it reminded me of that. And Spirit said to me, "This will be your home when you come here. This glass house." I said, "Why are you showing me this?" "Well, you've created this because of work you do. You've created this." I said, "Wow, it's so beautiful." I said, "Well, you've created this." So really, I don't know if that's going to happen when I get there, but I'm telling you, just to have that insight, that vision, makes you feel good. Makes you feel good. Okay, a couple more. Yes. Black Bear. Thank you, James. I love these Monday meetings. You always say something I did not know I needed to. Me too. It just comes through. I plan and something else happens. Please say, God bless you, James. Like, oh, thank you, Black Bear. Good to hear from you again. Okay. Let's see. That's Realms amazing. Yes. Deborah. Well, okay. Deborah. Yes, Deborah. That's right. I want to go to Deborah. Let's go, Deborah. Deborah Hartel. So Deborah Hartel. So Deborah. So your both daughters have passed over. That's a really hard lesson. And I don't know your details as far as how far back it was. It was recent. I don't know. But again, I'm not doing messages today, but you can definitely go on my website and get a reading from somebody. But I also just to look at that. Um, Many times there are souls that pass over, often, very, very often, children, adults, and they pass over, and no soul goes without leaving gifts behind. And in some ways, especially two daughters, it's usually something you've decided on before you come back here. It's lessons, right? Because there's no death, and it's just lessons. It's an emotional lesson. It's the hardest lesson, I think, in human. I think the human experience, losing a child, is the hardest. I've never had a child, but the world's my children. But I know it's a tough one. But it's also putting a lot of people on their spiritual path. It took that situation to occur in order for a lot of people to start their spiritual journey. So hopefully that will be your experience, Deborah. That'll force you to go on your spiritual journey and open you up. So because I know thousands of parents, maybe 100,000 by now, have been through this, and it really can help you. You can be helped or hindered by it. So as I've just said before, Deborah, I want you to look at the bigger picture here. I want you to start getting to that spiritual level. Start opening yourself up and don't be angry. Anger is a part of healing, the grief process, of course. But I want to start looking at the other side yourself. Look at the other side. Look at yourself. Feel the connection with your daughters. Start listening to yourself. Start sitting quietly. That'll help you. Okay. Sorry, honey. Oh, Jody wants to how to record sessions. I don't know. I don't know if Renee next week we'll talk about that next week. How they're the recordings of these sessions. To tell you the truth, I don't even know if they're being recorded, but they might be. But Renee, I'll ask Renee. Well, no, we'll tell you next week. Oh, there's a good one. Souls. I like the soul poem. The mother of the fetus. There's one about a fetus. These coming through so quickly, you guys. I think what it said was. I remember correctly. It scrolled right in. Excuse me. I think it's something that does the soul come into the fetus? The answer is no, it does not. It comes the soul will visit the mother and the conditions. Probably around 6 months, seventh month around there, and just seeing things up. Eighth month, stay a little bit more. Ninth month, yes, stays in. But they're having this telepathic communication about themselves and about the world and their lives. And many times they'll talk about the mother and say, you eat right, or you can't do this, or there's these things that they happen. I had one with my mother. I know there's there in the feast. And I said, I felt this terrible liquid stuff. It's terrible, acidic. I said, this is going to kill me. You have to stop drinking. So alcohol. So there's a connection there with the mother and the baby growing. But really, I know the baby, ninth month, it stays more in that little cramped space. It gets born. Of course, it knows exactly the conditions that's getting involved in. They'll pick up the father's energy right away and the mother's right away. They'll know the father's happy to have them or not. They'll know this. And the spirit, the soul, will go in and out of the body. Ninth, 10th, usually about the 11th, it stays put. But they'll go in and out of the top of the head, which is the crown chakra. And of course, that's the soft spot, the last place that connects. So up to about the 11th month, then they stay in. Okay, one more, you guys. James, I just read your book, Kelly Wagner. I just read your book, Talking to Heaven, before my husband committed suicide. It helped so much. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Oof. Yeah, suicide is a tough one. No one gets punished in suicide. No one. It's just, remember, it's a soul that, for some reason, whether it's an emotional disturbance, whether it's a mental disturbance, what things that not loving themselves, they feel responsible, whatever it might be. They can't. They don't want to stay here, and then their mind is filled. Sometimes there are many different types of suicides. I'm just being general here. That their minds are filled with stuff, and it gets to them. There's negative thoughts, whatever. It starts really um, getting the circle gets larger and larger, like a snowball, and it increases, and they can't take it. So they think they'll be out of pain. They will be out of pain in some respects. They are, and they're met by people on the other side. They're remember that you're never alone. There are always people that come to get you. You're just your family and friends. They'll be there. But also in this case, your husband, family and friends, but also spirits that deal with suicide. They specialize in that, if you will. And that can be made up of guides, beings who've done it themselves. They know the conditions because they've done it themselves. So they're the best ones to help that soul coming over. So your husband is out of pain, I'll tell you that much. But I'm also going to tell you, depending upon the suicide, because everything is different, it's always the intention behind the act. So they usually bring them to, or they'll wake up in a kind of a hospital setting, not like our hospitals, but it's a very open setting, very loving. They like music they've never heard, and they feel wonderful. And sometimes they don't realize what they just did or something happened, or right away they'll know what happened. It depends again on the suicide. But the biggest thing I would say, sweetheart, for that situation, any suicide, is that you should pray for that soul. You should send loving thoughts and kind to that soul. Take like a baby, just nurture them like a baby, because then they will hear your thoughts. Like I said earlier, they hear and feel your love, and that will help to heal them to start loving themselves. If you love them, then they're not that bad. They'll start loving themselves. And yeah, this also, so they don't go to hell. They don't do anything like that. Talking to heaven, I put something like that in there because I've learned after that there is no such thing. But they will, they will be in a space of what do they do, but that can be helped by you sending thoughts of love to them and healing. Yeah. So we're all in it together, you friend, my guys. There's no separation. We're all in this together. Every one of us. We're all like points of light everywhere, and everybody who comes in your life every day is a teacher or a student. Remember that. And I will be back next Monday, SoulCARE, and I'll be tomorrow night for the soul coaching. So please feel, if you feel a pull to that, go read about it on the JP School of Mystical Arts. And there's the link there that they put up. And have a blessed rest of the week and rest of the day. Bye bye.